We're in a soccer match. If Isagi Yoichi's team wins, they'll advance to nationals. Isagi manages to evade players and faces the goal. His teammate Tada calls for a pass. The coach reminds them, one for all for one. In soccer, 11 players make a team. Isagi passes to his teammate, who hits the goalpost. The ball goes to the opposing team, who pass to their star striker, Kira Ryosuke. He scores, making it 2-0. The game ends, and Isagi's team loses. Their coach tells them to be proud of their team effort. One day they'll look back on this defeat and feel it wasn't in vain. Ichan's team is Japan's best, but Isagi disagrees. They didn't make nationals because they lost in preliminaries. He's a second-year unknown striker. That's the reality. Isagi apologizes to Europe's best player, Noel Noah, whom he admired and who inspired him to keep playing soccer. But it seems his dream of becoming a national team star and winning the World Cup may just be a dream. He wonders if his fate would have changed had he not passed the ball then. One for all for one. In soccer, you can't do it alone. Isagi starts shouting in frustration, wishing they had won. Isagi returns home and has dinner with his parents, who give him a letter from the Japan Football Union. It certifies him for a program. The next day, Isagi arrives at the program location and meets Kira Ryosuke. Inside, they see many players. Senu's star Okawa, the tallest player Ishikari, Aomori's Messi Nishioka, all strikers. The lights dim, and a slim figure welcomes them as diamonds in the rough. It's Jinpachi Ego, hired to make Japan win the World Cup. Japan aims to create a revolutionary striker, hence Blue Lock exists. From now on, they'll live together, undergo Ego's special training, and say goodbye to their former football lives. Ego promises that if they survive among the 300 selected under-18 strikers and come out on top, they'll be the world's best striker. Kira doesn't like the conditions Ego wants to impose because he has a team that matters to him. Some of them will even play in the nationals. He can't leave his team to participate in just any program. The others agree with Kira. That's the deal. Seeing their seriously, Ego tells them to leave. Ego asks them if being the best high school team in this backward country matters more to them than being the best striker in the world. He is discouraged to think that Japan's future is in their hands. The level of Japan's football organizations is top-notch. Ego asks, what is football? Is it 11 people cooperating? Valuing bonds? Sacrifice? Playing for teammates? That's why Japanese football goes nowhere. Football is about scoring more goals than the opponent. The one who scores more is the best. If they prefer friendlies with colleagues, then lock off. Kira asks Ego to retract his statement, respecting many players in Japan's national team. Ego counters that Japan has never won the World Cup. His goal is to produce the world's best. Instead of assisting my teammates to win 1-0, it's better to score a hat-trick and lose 3-4. These are the words of Noel Noah, the world's best striker, who defeated Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and won the Ballon d'Or. Eric Cantona says, I don't care about my team. I want to stand out. Pelé said, the best striker, midfielder, defender, and goalkeeper. No matter what you ask, the answer is me. They are all top-tier players, and they are first-rate egoists. This is what Japanese football lacks. You cannot be the best striker in the world without being the biggest egoist. Just imagine it. It's 0-0. The final play. They receive a pass and surpass the defense. They face the goalkeeper with a teammate beside them. If they pass, it's a sure goal. When the nation's hopes rest on their shoulders, only an egoist can shoot without hesitation. Cross the gates. Nothing should bring them more joy than their own goals. Live only for that moment. Isn't that what it means to be a striker? Isagi is the first to move, and the other players begin to cross the gates. Isagi is number 299Z, so he is in room Z. Isagi enters and sees the players in the room, who look very phenomenal. They all have an aura. Kira is also there. Someone throws a shirt at Isagi and apologizes for it. We see a strong guy with orange hair, resembling Ichigo. Another guy is sleeping on the floor as well. There is also a bald monk named Gurimi Igarashi. Ego appears on a television and explains that he has ranked them according to his criteria. These numbers represent their ranking. This way, they can see their level among the 300 players there. In Isagi's case, he is ranked 299, which is very low. The ranking will change based on the results of training or matches. The top 5 will play in the tournament in 6 months. They will be registered as strikers for the U20 World Cup. Moreover, all those who lose in Blue Lock will never play for the Japan national team. Here, they must gain more ego. Ego will test them to measure this. They have 136 seconds. The player who has the ball when the time runs out will be eliminated. And no using hands. The ball is with the bald guy, Igaguri. He starts chasing everyone, but he doesn't have a chance to even hit one of them. Kira tells Isagi that this isn't right. He came to this place to prove that ego is wrong. Igaguri sees the guy who is sleeping and decides to hit him with the ball, but the guy gives him a single kick in the face. The orange-haired guy says he doesn't like dirty play, and while he is distracted, the monk hits him in the face with the ball too. The orange-haired guy gets angry and says he's going to kill him. Igaguri grabs Isagi, and the boy with orange hair, by the way, is named Kunigami Rensuke. He kicks the ball with a powerful shot, hitting Isagi in the stomach. Now Isagi has the ball. Isagi tries to hit someone but can't, so he has to go for someone lower than him, meaning Igaguri. We see the weird guy and Kunigami playing. Kunigami says they're going to play fair. He throws it, hitting Igaguri and disabling his foot. Kira tells Isagi to give it to him now because he needs to survive. But Isagi stops because he came to this place to evolve. If he doesn't surpass someone better than him, he won't change. The weird guy says he likes that attitude and steals the ball. And his name is Bachira Maguru, heading towards Kira, but he doesn't succeed in hitting him with the ball. Kira moves away from Bachira. So Bachira decides to pass the ball to the one on the other side, meaning Isagi. Isagi receives the pass and shoots, hitting Kira in the face. Thus, the time runs out. In a meeting, Thierry Henry, a member of the Japan Football Union, says that if things continue as they are, Japan will never win the World Cup. A man called the Special Advisor responds that they have already earned a fortune. Football is a business. He asks Henry if she really believes that Japan has a chance of winning the World Cup. Henri angrily replies that yes, it is her dream. If they can win by playing in their own style, and with possession football to win, that mentality is why they will never get past the round of 16. The man says that if that idea fails, he already knows whose head will roll, to which she truly believes that the person who can change Japanese football and create the player that will take them to the World Cup is Jinpachi Ego. We return to the area where the players were. Ego appears, telling his rough diamonds that here only the result matters. The losers must leave. Kira is eliminated. Kira stands up, asking how it's possible that his career is falling apart because of this stupid game. He asks if Igaguri and Isagi have more talent than him, and if this game serves any purpose. What does it have to do with football? Ego says that in Blue Lock, everything has to do with football. He tells him to look around. The room they are in is about the size of the penalty area. Approximately 75% of goals are scored in that zone. If he can't work in that space, he has no talent as a forward. Ego says that if he is the one fleeing, he needs to manage space, tactics, and positioning. If he is the one chasing, his dribbling and accuracy must be precise, and he must have a good shot. It's an excellent training exercise. Even so, Kira asks, how can he know anything about him in just 2 minutes? A match lasts 90 minutes. To which Ego responds that, on average, the time a footballer has the ball in a match is 136 seconds. He wasted the opportunity given to everyone. Kira says he couldn't do anything in the last 10 seconds. Ego replies that when the ball hit him, there was still 1 second left. He could have saved himself by hitting Igaguri, who was standing still, but he didn't see it. It's like the last play before the final whistle. When his teammate hit him, he gave up and accepted defeat. That's why he didn't see it. He lost the opportunity to win by not taking that extra step. The one who has the ball can lose if they hold onto it for too long, but they can also be the winner because they can choose their victim. A striker has the responsibility and must fight until the end. Yoichi Isagi went for someone better than himself, not Igaguri. Meguru Bachira stole the ball and went for the best. Common sense does not affect that obsession with victory. That is the selfishness of a striker that Ego seeks. Kira lost because he ran away. So, enough said. Kira Ryosuke, lock off. Kira looks at Isagi frustrated and says that this is wrong, and he leaves the room. Isagi wonders why he hit him. He ended Kira's career and doesn't know why he feels so excited. Isagi asks Bachira, "Why did you pass me the ball?" And Bachira responds that he knew Isagi would do it. It was written all over his face. Only the results matter. He believed in him and won. Igaguri wonders if this nonsense is going to continue. Ego replies that this is the world of win or lose. The world-class strikers they adore so much risk their lives like this every day. Ego asks them, how does it feel to risk your lives for your careers for the first time? This is normal in Blue Lock. This is victory. Every time you taste that pleasure, your ego will grow. And that will eventually lead you to become the best striker in the world. Ego congratulates them. They have passed the residency entrance exam. There are 11 of them in this room, so they will live together. Sometimes they will cooperate, other times they will betray each other. They will be rivals who crush each other's dreams. Blue Lock, Team Z. On day 3, we are in the training room where they are doing strength exercises and running tests. Raichi tells Isagi and Igaguri that if this is how the best strikers are, they should go home before he makes them cry. Isagi does a jumping test with Kuan, and Isagi is surprised because Kuan jumps very high. Kuan asks if he is in good shape today. Isagi thinks that this is his maximum. In the cafeteria, they are given rice and miso soup, but the main dish changes according to the ranking, and the tall weird guy eats like a caveman. In the dormitory, Isagi can't sleep. He leaves the room saying that if he doesn't do something, he'll be kicked out. Everyone is better than him, and he doesn't know how to surpass them. Bachira hits him with the ball, saying that if he trains alone, Isagi tells him that he does. So Bachira asks if he can train with him. They are on the Team Z training field. Isagi asks Bachira why he passed him the ball when they were playing keep away. Why did Bachira think that Isagi would go for Kira? Well, that's because Bachira has a monster. In a flashback, we see Bachira dribbling past one of his opponents. As Bachira continues with the play, his teammate tells him to pass the ball, but Bachira thinks the teammate is too slow. His monster wants him to keep dribbling. However, he is fouled. On the ground, Bachira's monster extends a hand to him. Returning to the training, Bachira says that when he plays, the monster comes out and talks to him. It tells him to score a goal, to move more. But at that moment, the monster says, "Pass the ball to Isagi." He also has a monster inside him. Bachira hears its voice when he plays. There's no more mystery. Bachira asks if he also hears the voice of the monster. Isagi doesn't understand anything Bachira is saying. Although, when Isagi struck the ball, he didn't recognize himself at that moment. Isagi wants to know what this monster inside him is. Maybe discovering it will give him clues to survive in Blue Lock. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Noel Noah, all amazing players have a monster inside them. It's what proves you are a striker. That's what Bachira believes. So, Bachira is glad he came because he got to meet Isagi. Isagi wonders what's going on with Bachira. What he's saying doesn't make sense, but it's giving him courage. Isagi thinks about surviving here. A megaphone announces that their physical tests have been evaluated. They have to return to their rooms and check their rankings. Kunigami and the others see that the ranking numbers on their uniforms have changed. Igaguri sees Isagi and Bachira entering and tells them that he has moved up from his previous position of 300. He is now in 275th place. Isagi is in 274th place. Ego appears again, asking his rough diamonds how they are finding their stay in Blue Lock. The guy with shark teeth gets angry and asks if Ego really thinks they will improve in this environment. Ego tells them that the environment doesn't matter because their level isn't up to par. Let's talk about Blue Lock. In this center, there are a total of 25 teams, from the Abecedary B to Z. They are divided into 5 groups, 1 per building. By the way, each team has lost 1 member, so there are 275 players remaining. This means that Igaguri is still in last place. Their ranking determines the team. From 1 to 11 are in Team B, from 12 to 22 in Team C, etc. In short, Team Z is the worst in Building 5. The best players eat gourmet food and train in better facilities. Here, the best player is the king. If they want a better environment, they will have to keep winning. It's time for the first selection to begin. We meet Sayatoshi. From the new generation, he is one of the 11 heroes of the world. He was a brilliant midfielder at the academy of one of the best clubs in the world, Real Madrid. But the rules prevented him from moving up to the first team, so he returned to Japan. That means he will be seen in the domestic league. Sayatoshi responds that he would rather be dead. If he has to play in a country like this, he'll go play with university students in Germany. Itoshi Sai doesn't even want to represent his country, Japan, on the international stage. His dream is to win the Champions League. In this country, there isn't a striker worthy of his passes. He was born in the wrong country. Meanwhile, he finds himself amidst the media of the Blue Lock project. One of the interviewers asks if it's okay to ruin the lives of 299 other people. To which Henri responds that exactly, that is the point. They need this crazy project for Japanese football to advance. And she asks everyone if they don't want to see the moment when the hero of Japanese football is born. The first selection will include the 55 players from Building 5. It's like a free-for-all among 5 teams. The top 2 will advance to the second round in this survival phase. So the 11 members of Team Z will play on the same team. Even though they are all strikers, it's madness. Football is a sport based on scoring. They have been implanted with the notions of positioning and tactics, but these roles have evolved over time. Football used to have all players as strikers. That's how football was before. They have to create football from scratch with their minds. In the last 25 years, Japanese football has improved greatly compared to the rest of the world. One more step and they will be on par with the best in the world. Football fans around the world see it as possible. This shows how much they have improved. But to take that extra step, Japanese football must die. The dream of playing in the World Cup has already borne fruit and is fulfilled. Now they need a new dream for Japanese football. Ego says that they don't have to believe in common sense. They need to abandon it. They need to implant new ideas into their brains. What Japan needs to become the best in the world is not 11 players playing as a team. They need a hero. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar. Football evolves endlessly with the existence of such a hero. To stop them, new defensive systems are created. To overcome them, new tactics are developed. A single player can change a team, a country, or even the world. That's football. It's a new era for Japanese football. The protagonists are not those who no longer dream, but the young unknowns for now. Henri asks them if they dare to have a new dream. The dream of winning the World Cup. Are they ready to fight? It's all in Blue Lock. Itoshi Sai says to cancel the trip to Spain because he wants to see for himself what kind of fool will be born in this country. And well, yes, everyone in this anime is crazy. I had to explain all of this to introduce what Blue Lock is about. Now, let's move on to the matches. That's what most of you came to see, I imagine. We see Team Z on the field, and we see their opponents, Team X. These players also have an aura, especially the one with the red eyes. But before these two teams face off, let's take a look at who's on Team Z. Rensuke Kunigami, Meguru Bachira, Hyoma Chigiri, Yoichi Isagi, Gagamaru, Igarashi, and Naruhaya. Lemon, who will be the team's goalkeeper, Kuan, Jingo Raichi, and Imamura. These are all the members of Team Z. Oh, and one more thing. The top scorers from the losing teams will move on. If more than one player scores the same number of goals, fair play points will be awarded, and the player with the fewest deductions will advance. So, the team has to think carefully about whether to focus on scoring goals or winning. In this selection process, the karma of a forward is put to the test. In the formation of Team Z, our protagonist Isagi will be the central forward. Isagi is still wondering what it means to create football from zero, as the goal of the first selection is to create football from scratch. Back to the match. The VAR will determine fouls. The first match of Building 5 will last 45 minutes. The match begins. Bachira asks Isagi if he's scared. He needs to have fun so he doesn't lose. That's football. Isagi agrees, saying there's no reason to be afraid. He's ranked 274th, at the bottom of the group. He just has to play and climb the rankings. The players from Team X block Isagi's way, but before Isagi can think of a solution, Raichi takes the ball from him, stating that the top scorer moves on. He doesn't care about the team. He'll do this his way. Kunigami agrees and takes the ball. If this is how it works, then he'll play for himself. Other players from both Team Z and Team X are thinking the same thing and start grouping up to take the ball from one another. Everyone is thinking only of themselves. Isagi wonders how these people, playing so aggressively, plan to create football from zero. Isagi is uncertain about what to do, and suddenly a player with red eyes appears, telling Isagi to move or he'll kill him. His name is Shoei Baru. Baru flicks the ball up with his heel and dodges Isagi with ease. Baru continues dribbling past Team Z and even scores a goal, putting his team ahead 1-0. Baru tells them to pay attention, calling them incompetent. For him, the ball isn't his friend or any nonsense like that. It's just a spherical servant that exists to make him shine. On the football field, he is the king. Isagi needs to calm down. The game has just started. As long as Baru doesn't get the ball, maybe they have a chance to win. Isagi tells Bachira that the two of them need to play together, but then loses the ball. The players from Team X think they need to pass the ball to Baru and give him all the support he needs. Meanwhile, Team Z is practically finished. Instead of aiming for individual goals, they need to win as a team. Team X passes the ball to Baru, and they start organizing. As Baru holds the ball, Team Z tries to cover him, but since they focus on him too much, the other players on Team X are left unmarked and score another goal. Team Z isn't coordinated, and like this, they won't be able to win. Isagi thinks that just a few minutes ago they were fighting just like them, and Baru changed everything. Baru's goal turned them into a team. If playing as everyone pleases is called zero, then Baru's great style of play isn't 0 but 1. A strategy for winning is playing around him, and that's how a team is born. That's what they meant by creating football from zero. In that case, Team Z is completely useless. The bigger the difference in score, the more they think only of themselves. No one is thinking about turning 0 into 1. Meanwhile, the opposing team's coordination keeps improving. This match is lost for Team Z. Team X completely crushes Team Z. Bachira tells Isagi that they won't score 5 goals in 3 minutes, but maybe he and Isagi can score 1. Isagi thinks about turning Team Z's 0 into 1. Bachira will distract them and pass the ball to Isagi so he can score. Isagi just has to run straight to the goal. Isagi starts the play. Maybe they won't make a comeback, but if someone scores, They can build a team structure. That's what it means to go from 0 to 1. Bachira positions himself and finds a gap to pass to Isagi. Isagi receives the pass and is one-on-one with the goalkeeper, ready to score. But King Baru tells him not to stand out more than him. Isagi can't face Baru, but Kunigami and Raichi are free to score. Isagi wants to score his own goal, but with Baru in front of him, it's impossible. Unconsciously, Isagi passes the ball to Kunigami, who shoots from long distance and scores, leaving the score at 5-1. Raichi grabs Isagi, asking why he passed to Kunigami, as Raichi was in a better position with no defenders marking him. Isagi responds that he doesn't know, he did it unconsciously. Baru approaches Isagi and tells him that if he gets nervous in front of the goal, he's useless as a striker. He has no talent. Isagi questions himself. Wasn't he supposed to turn 0 into 1? Maybe he's not fit to be a striker. Isagi hasn't changed since arriving at Blue Lock. He needs to find a way to climb the rankings in Blue Lock. Kuan interrupts them, saying they're a team that has already lost once. Let's say everyone wins 1 match and loses 2. The final 2 teams would tie at 6 points, so to move on, they need to go further and get 7. That's the cutoff that will decide who passes. If they lose the next match, it'll be the end of their careers as football players. Kunigami has an idea. He couldn't have scored without Bachira and Isagi's help. That might be the path forward. Chigiri says that Ego talked to them about winning the World Cup, mentioning names like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and Cantona. But none of them won the World Cup, so Ego must be referring to something else, a clue to creating football from 0. Isagi realizes what that means. During the match, everyone was focused only on scoring a goal, which is why they were all over the place. That must be 0. He thinks what broke that 0 was Baru's goal. It acted as a catalyst, creating a path for goals and allowing them to play as a team. Baru used his talent to turn that 0 into 1. Using that principle, a team can grow into a 10 or even 100. What's needed is the ability to produce that one. Only an irresistible trait and talent can make it possible. That's why Ego added the rule about the top scorer, to make them realize it. Ego interrupts, announcing that Team V won 8-0 against Team Y. It's practically a slaughter, but they still haven't fully understood what it means to create football from 0. Let's take Japan as an example. The Japanese love having an assigned role to fulfill. Look at one of Japan's main sports, baseball. The system has distinct periods of offense and defense, and there's no physical contact on the field. Every role is defined by position, and it fits perfectly with the Japanese mindset. That's why they're so good at it. But football is different. On a field where offense and defense constantly switch and there's a lot of contact, you can't win by just doing the tasks you're given. That's why personal skills are needed. Japan can boast about its midfielders and fullbacks. They're like the team's dogs. They turn the strikers 100 into 1. Without the work of those players, Japanese football wouldn't be where it is. In football, scoring a goal means breaking the opponent's structure. The act of scoring is a revolution, where you overthrow the opponent's order. Don't let roles block you. If not, you won't be able to create football from 0. They need to find their weapons to ruin the other team and destroy them. Their weapon is what will start the revolution. That is, scoring a goal. Victory will only exist beyond that. Let's take a look at the weapons of Team Z. Raichi, an incredible shooting technique. His motto is sexy football. Naruhaya, getting behind the defense. Gagamaru, physical play. Lemon, versatility. Igaguri's weapon is never giving up. Kunigami is practically ambidextrous, with shooting power in his left foot. Imamura, speed and technique. Bachira, dribbling. Kuan, his jump. Isagi has nothing. Chigiri doesn't want to say what his is. Team Z has to find a strategy where everyone can shine. The strategy they will use is called Operation Once It's My Turn. Next up, it's Me 11. For this strategy to succeed, they need to train hard to survive in Blue Lock. Isagi is eating in the cafeteria and feels sad because it seems he doesn't have any weapon. Kunigami approaches him to thank him for the pass in that game. Before Kunigami leaves, Isagi asks him why he plays football, since he is curious about the past of someone as incredible as him, with his physique and shooting ability. Kunigami replies that he wants to be a superhero of football. As a kid, he didn't admire superheroes, robots, or pirate kings. He idolized the strikers who ran across the pitch and scored goals that brought victory. Those players weren't fictional. They were real-life superheroes who moved him and gave him courage. That's who he wants to be. Isagi asks him if he's serious about what he's saying. Kunigami replies that he is. He doesn't care if someone finds it silly and laughs at him. Kunigami isn't embarrassed. He will fight fairly and reach the top to fulfill his dream. Isagi thinks that Kunigami has incredible determination, unlike himself. Kunigami takes a steak from the cafeteria. If you score goals, you can get rewards, like a day outside of Blue Lock, a bed, or even your phone. Half a goal was thanks to Isagi, so half the stake belongs to him. Kunigami asks why Isagi passed him the ball, believing Raichi was more open. Isagi says it was unconscious, a reflex. Even if he had passed to Raichi, Baru was right in front of him. Isagi guesses he sensed that Kunigami would score if he shot from mid-range, since he knows his power from experience. Kunigami thinks maybe that could be Isagi's weapon. Being able to make decisions on the spot is better than he realizes. In the next match, they will win no matter what. We find ourselves in the match between Team Z and Team Y. Team Y lost their first match, so they're in the same situation as Team Z. They'll be desperate. Team Z must closely watch their number 9, who has a powerful first-time shot and is the top scorer from all of Kumamoto, Hibiki Okawa. But this time, Team Z has a plan. Their training will bear fruit. Team Z's strategy is an ultra-offensive system that will allow them to use their weapons. They will divide the clock and take turns in the forward position. To make sure everyone's weapons can shine, they will base the formation around the player in the spotlight and support the style they want to play. Changing positions for everyone would be chaotic, so they'll rotate clockwise. The next player will be close by, so it won't be a problem. Lemon will stay as the goalkeeper, and he won't switch positions. Everyone except Lemon and Chigiri will rotate positions every 10 minutes. Instead of Operation 11, it's my turn, it's better to call it Operation 9, it's my turn. The kickoff begins. The formation starts with Meguru Bachira. Bachira stands out with his dribbling. This tactic allows him to advance into the attack on his own. It's a selfish tactic, suitable for someone whose weapon is overwhelming. 2 defenders rush in to stop Bachira, but surprisingly, it's not 2 defenders but 3. This third one is called Nico. Since he has studied Bachira's dribbling, Bachira has no choice but to pass the ball. Team Y isn't improvising. They have a plan too. Team Z's strategy is so aggressive so that each of them can use their weapon, while Team Y's plan is to defend and neutralize those weapons. More of Team Z's weapons are yet to be revealed. 10 minutes pass, and now it's Kunigami's turn. His objective is to shoot with his left foot from a long distance toward the goal, positioning himself outside the penalty area, while the wingers have to clear the way for him to shoot as they practiced. Kunigami shoots, but it's blocked. The ball goes out of bounds, so Team Z initiates another attack with Kunigami, but again, it's blocked, and the ball falls to Nico. Okawa runs straight to the opponent's goal to counterattack. Isagi thinks this is what Nico was waiting for, defending until a gap opens up so they can go on the offensive as quickly as possible, using their top scorer, Okawa. Nico passes the ball to Okawa, who fakes a shot, leaving the score at 1-0. Naruhaya couldn't stop Okawa, as it takes 2 players to stop him. Since Team Y is winning, they start passing the ball among themselves to waste time. It's Raichi's turn to show off his sexy football, but we can't even see it since he can't get the ball due to Team Y's defense. He first half ends, and Igaguri says that even professionals struggle against teams like this, teams that score and then go ultra-defensive. Kuan says they need to keep pushing because changing tactics would cause chaos. In the second half, things get more interesting. It's Imamura's turn. For him, football is nothing more and nothing less than love. This situation is like when a girl is out of your league. It's hard to win her over, but in reality, she has no experience. And once you win her over, she goes crazy for you. That girl is Team Y. Once Team Y falls, it will be easy. I don't know about you, but Imamura is now my favorite character. Imamura applies pressure, and Gagamaru manages to take the ball from Team Y. 10 minutes pass, and now it's Gagamaru's turn. For Gagamaru's plan to work, Isagi needs to be on the wing. He has to send a cross into an almost unreachable gap in front of the goal. Isagi sends the cross, but it's a bit far. But remember, Gagamaru is known for his agility, and he manages to head the ball, but it doesn't succeed, and the ball goes out for a corner. However, if they keep this up, they can score a goal. Isagi has a bad feeling about Okawa. This situation could end in disaster if Team Y recovers the ball and counterattacks. It's the first chance Team Z has to score a goal, but Isagi has a premonition and moves away from the corner area. Team Z has misread the situation. The one who's been ruining their chances, the one giving the orders and sending the ball to Okawa, this bad feeling Isagi has comes from the heart of Team Y, and that's Nico. If they neutralize Nico, Team Y will fall apart. Isagi intercepts the pass intended for Nico, runs toward the goal and shoots, but Nico barely manages to block the shot. However, Gagamaru is there, and with his agility, he scores, crashing into the post, tying the score at 1-1. Nico tells Isagi that they share the same vision, but he can't be defeated because he's the one controlling the game. The pass goes to Nico again, but Isagi intercepts it. Isagi tells his teammates that they will stick to Naruhaya's formation, as stopping Nico will give them more chances to score. Nico tells Isagi that Ego also spoke to them about how to use their weapons, which made Nico realize that all the players in Blue Lock have a lot of talent. Nico cannot run fast, or has an imposing physique. His weapons for surviving here are his eyes, which perfectly read the field situation, and his brain, which coordinates people excellently. Maybe Isagi can stop Nico, but he cannot stop his ideas. Team Y continues playing as they always do, not allowing Team Z to have the ball. Team Z then decides to move forward with all their players to attack before time runs out. Nico tells Isagi that 1 minute remains. Team Y's last resort is a vengeful tactic they only use if they are tied and being outplayed. The signal for this is that Okawa gets the ball on his own. Unlike the rest of the match, Okawa won't be going solo. In that last minute, the entire Team Y joins the attack, and they call it one-time lethal counter. Team Z fell into their trap. They focus too much on attacking. The defense is exposed. If Team Y scores now, they will lose. But Isagi refuses to accept that. Instead of shooting at the goal, Nico passes the ball to Okawa. But just before Okawa can receive the ball, Isagi appears and intercepts the pass, telling Nico that this is the spot where the scent of a goal is the strongest. Isagi and Nico are similar. They share the same gaze and think alike. Rather than taking the shot himself, Nico passed to Okawa for the finishing touch. Nico chose to pass at the last moment, which means he isn't striker material. In the past, Isagi chose to pass instead of shooting, and they lost. He cried like a child over it, but he no longer needs that version of himself. Now, he wants to win. It's time for him to be reborn. Isagi launches a counterattack and sends the ball to Kunigami, who immediately passes it to Bachira. With his dribbling skills, Bachira bypasses the defenders and gets into position to make a pass. The ball is aimed at Gagamaru, but he couldn't connect with it using his head. However, Bachira says that pass wasn't meant for Gagamaru. It was for number 11, Yoichi Isagi. No one can believe how Isagi got there. Smiling, Bachira tells the egoist to score his goal. Isagi declares that he is a striker and takes the shot, scoring the goal. The match ends with a final score of 2-1, with Team Z emerging victorious. All the players of Team Z celebrate excitedly, except for Isagi. He walks among the players of Team Y, reflecting on what just happened. Isagi realizes that by scoring his goal, he has crushed the dreams of these 11 people. As he processes this fact, he comes to understand that this is the true essence of winning. Even though he is fully aware of what his goal meant for the opposing team, he can't help but wonder about this strange feeling that overwhelms him, because, despite everything, it feels spectacular. Afterward, the players of Team Z celebrate with a hearty meal, all thanks to the goals scored by Isagi and Gagamaru, acknowledging that Isagi's goal was the key to their victory. However, the excitement keeps Isagi awake, and he heads to the video room, where he finds Chigiri watching the replay of Isagi's goal. Chigiri tells Isagi that, as a striker, that moment must have been glorious. Isagi replies that he'll remember that goal forever, even though he couldn't replicate it if he tried, as he had just run without thinking. Chigiri believes Isagi possesses an incredible spatial awareness, the ability to judge situations based on what players see on the field. He explains that this field of vision narrows when running at high speed or advancing with the ball, but sometimes it feels like you're playing while seeing the entire field and everything happening on it, as if you were a god observing from above. That ability allowed Isagi to sense the opportunity for a goal, avert a crisis, and even score an impossible goal. Although Isagi currently does this instinctively, Chigiri thinks that if he learns to control it, his eyes and brain will become an unparalleled weapon. That's what Chigiri believes as he watches the video. Isagi asks Chigiri what his weapon is, noting that he didn't want to talk about it before. However, Chigiri confesses to Isagi that a year ago, he suffered a tear in his right anterior cruciate ligament. The doctor warned him that if it happened again, his career would be in serious jeopardy. Before his injury, Chigiri possessed an incredible weapon, one as special as Isagi's, and there were nights he couldn't sleep because of the excitement and his dream of becoming the best striker in the world. However, even though he is physically recovered, he feels a deep fear of getting injured again. He's terrified of losing his dream and the sport he loves, football, something that has brought him so much joy. That's why he decided to come to Blue Lock, searching for a reason to abandon his dream. Now, after witnessing Isagi's goal, he feels like he might be ready to give up. But Isagi confronts him head-on, telling him not to lie or try to blame him. Isagi senses that Chigiri doesn't truly want to give up on his dream, because Isagi feels the same way. They are both fighting because they fear everything might end. Isagi emphasizes that if Chigiri isn't willing to risk everything, he'll never achieve his dream. However, Chigiri turns away and snaps back, telling Isagi that he knows nothing about him. Later, during training, Isagi grows frustrated as he reflects on the fact that all the players in Team Z are better than him and have more stamina. He knows his weapon is his ability to smell goals, which refers to his spatial awareness. However, he's unsure how to fully utilize it. Ego then appears, announcing that the 6th round has concluded. He shares the results and standings. 3 teams have 1 win and 1 loss, but Team V holds a significant advantage. Ego explains that the rankings are based on their achievements and performance on the field. As strikers, they must prove their worth by scoring goals. The more valuable their goals are, the higher their ranking will be. Currently, Yoichi Isagi is the best player on Team Z. Ego points out that discovering their weapon is the first step to becoming a striker. Afterward, they must refine, highlight, and enhance it. Ego uses the Argentine striker Lionel Messi as an example, explaining that his weapon is his unique and elegant dribbling, combined with the speed and precision of his left foot, which makes him the best player in the world. However, Ego warns that copying Messi will not make their own weapons shine. Each player has a unique weapon, and their task is to figure out how to perfect it. That weapon is what transforms a 0 into a 1. Their talent is like a gem that becomes worthless if it isn't polished. Isagi reflects on how to polish his weapon, as it isn't something as obvious as dribbling or shooting. His ability to smell a goal is unique and something only he possesses. He realizes that he must improve his physical condition to run for the full 90 minutes and be ready to act at the decisive moment. If he can achieve this, he'll be able to stand out. As he runs, Isagi notices that Kunigami, Bachira, and the others are following him, because Team Z now revolves around him. Isagi has become the #1 player on the team, and feels that he can be reborn in Blue Lock. Ego explains that the presence of a brilliant player creates rivalries, and that is precisely what Blue Lock is, the place where football reaches its peak intensity, and where the best striker in the world emerges. Team Z is analyzing the players from Team W, who lost to Team V but defeated Team X, led by Baru, who had beaten Team Z 4-1. The key players of Team W are the Wanima brothers. One is named Wanima Keisuke, and the other is Wanima Junichi. Their strength lies in their combination play, and when they defeated Team X, they scored 4 goals between them. Their incredible weapons are their ability to perceive distance, their synchronization when moving, and their wall passes, skills that are formidable even knowing they'll use them. Kuan arrives late to the meeting and explains that for the next match, they will change their strategy. They'll place 3 compatible weapons at the front and rotate the formation every 30 minutes. This operation will allow them to shine in a 3-man forward pattern. Isagi asks Chigiri if he wants to stay in defense, but Chigiri tells him not to waste time worrying about others and focus on how he's going to score goals. We are in the match between Team W and Team Z, and the game begins. The Wanima brothers start off by using their fierce weapon, their combination play, leaving several players from Team Z behind. Isagi can't believe it. Despite having planned a strategy, they can't stop them. Isagi tells Chigiri that they need to stop them. The Wanima brothers recognize Chigiri as the crystal genius. While using their unstoppable combination, they taunt Chigiri, saying that his time as a footballer is over. Chigiri wants to catch up to them, but the 2 brothers warn him that if he runs, his crystal leg will shatter. Chigiri becomes concerned about his leg, but Isagi manages to steal the ball from the Wanima brothers. Isagi tells Chigiri not to listen to them, that the past doesn't matter. To him, Chigiri is Hyoma Chigiri of Team Z. Chigiri tells him to ignore it, but Isagi isn't saying it just for Chigiri's sake. He came to Blue Lock because he didn't want to give up on football. He came to change his life. As Isagi says this, the players pass the ball to Kuan, who connects with a header and scores a goal. The scoreboard now reads 1-0. Isagi tells Chigiri that no one cares about his past. What he wants to see is his present. They didn't come to Blue Lock to cry and give up. The game resumes, and one of the Wanima brothers loses focus, causing them to lose the ball. Bachira recovers it and sends a high pass to Kuan, taking advantage of Kuan's weapon, his ability to jump and reach elevated balls. Kuan receives the pass and shoots with such precision that the goalkeeper doesn't even react, bringing the score to 2-0 in favor of Team Z. The team changes formation, with Raichi, Gagamaru, and Naruhaya now occupying offensive positions. During the game, Junichi commits a foul against Naruhaya, giving Team Z a free kick. Bachira steps up to take it, and notices that Team W is disorganized, with a very weak defense. Seizing the opportunity, he sends a pass to Kuan, who finishes with a header, scoring another goal and achieving a hat trick. The players of Team Z are stunned by Kuan's performance. The first half comes to an end, and Team Z begins to realize that Kuan is performing exceptionally well. Isagi reflects on how, thanks to Kuan, the team is attacking more aggressively and showing significant improvement. As they walk back to the field, Isagi asks Chigiri if, in such an intense environment, he has ever considered quitting football. The second half of the match begins. Raichi passes the ball to Kuan, but he loses it to one of the Wanima brothers, who launch a counterattack. Isagi tries to stop them but cannot stand up to such a coordinated duo. Thanks to their combination play, the Wanama brothers score a goal, bringing the score to 3-1 in favor of Team W. The game resumes, and Kuan motivates his team to keep pushing forward, reminding them that they still have the advantage. However, when Kuan attempts to pass the ball to Isagi, the pass falls short and is intercepted by one of the Wanama brothers. Seizing the opportunity, Team W scores another goal, narrowing the gap to 3-2. Raichi, furious at Kuan's mistakes, tries to confront him, but Kunigami steps in to stop the situation from escalating. Kuan apologizes to the team for his errors, and while his teammates let it slide, something catches Isagi's attention. He notices Kuan smiling in a strange way. The match resumes with Isagi, Bachira, and Kunigami, forming a triangle in the attack, just as they had practiced before. Kunigami tries to pass the ball to Bachira, but seeing the pass blocked, he sends it to Isagi instead. However, Isagi notices something strange. Team W seems to be perfectly anticipating their movements. Even if they had studied their tactics, they shouldn't have been able to identify their combination this quickly. Moreover, they are systematically neutralizing the weapons of Team Z, leaving Isagi unable to smell a goal-scoring opportunity. Isagi loses the ball and starts to suspect that Team W knows far too much about their strategy. At that moment, he recalls Kuan's strange smile and begins to piece things together. If they lose, Team Z will be eliminated from Blue Lock. What could Kuan gain from this? Suddenly, another realization hits him. All of Team Z's goals have been scored by Kuan. Back in the game, a cross is sent toward Kuan, but he deliberately misses the header, allowing the ball to reach the Wanama brothers. This gives them the opportunity to score, tying the game at 3-3. After this play, Isagi confronts Kuan, directly asking him if he is betraying them. Kuan doesn't respond, but the Wanama brothers do. They confirm Isagi's suspicions. They reveal that Kuan leaked all of Team Z's information to them, their tactics, weapons, and weaknesses. According to the Wanama brothers, Kuan met with them the day before to share these details, which explains why he arrived late to the team's meeting. With this advantage, Team W now holds a dominant position in the match. Raichi attempts to hit Kuan, but he ends up receiving a yellow card instead. Kuan then reveals his plan. Even if Team Z loses, he will remain in Blue Lock, as he intends to advance alone. According to a rule in the first selection, if a player is the top scorer of their team, they can qualify even if their team is eliminated. From now on, it will essentially be 12 players against 10. Meanwhile, Henri asks Ego if he plans to allow this to continue. Ego coldly tells her to be quiet, as he observes and wonders what Team Z will do next. Isagi asks Kuan why he did it, and Kuan responds that he started thinking after their victory, when Isagi scored the last-minute goal. Kuan explains that he decided to betray the team because, after their previous victory with Isagi's last-minute goal, he concluded that the team's chances of winning were too low. He also points out that their next opponent, Team V, defeated Team Y 8-0, showing overwhelming strength. For that reason, he leaked all the information about Team Z to Team W, believing that Team W would win while he made sure to become the top scorer with his 3 goals. Isagi confronts Kuan, questioning if fighting together really meant nothing to him. Kuan, with a smile, thanks Isagi for being so naive, and states that in Blue Lock, only ego matters. There are no bonds or teamwork. If you need to betray others to win, do it, he says. That's what his ego tells him. As the Wanama brothers score another goal with Kuan's help, the scoreboard shows a 4-3 lead for Team W. The game resumes, and Isagi refuses to let things end this way. The Wanama brothers taunt him, saying that while he has great spatial awareness, he's incapable of accomplishing anything on his own. Kuan steals the ball from Isagi, and Team W launches another attack. If they score again, it will be almost impossible for Team Z to make a comeback. However, Lemon, the goalkeeper, makes a crucial save, stopping the Wanama brothers from scoring. He yells to his team that they need a goal. If they manage to tie the match, they'll still have a chance. Chigiri attempts to go for the rebound, but one of the Wanima brothers reaches it first and mocks him, saying he's too slow and that his soccer career will end today. This comment angers Chigiri, sparking memories of his past as a soccer prodigy. He remembers being a genius known for his extraordinary speed, a standout talent who even appeared in newspapers. He saw himself as one of the lucky few blessed with natural talent, and soccer felt like his life's purpose. From the age of 6, when he outran everyone, he decided he would become the best striker in the world. Chigiri felt immense joy in using his legs to leave others in the dust, but his dream was shattered during a game when he suffered a severe ACL injury. The doctor warned him that if he re-injured the same ligament, continuing to play soccer would be extremely difficult. Despite his recovery, Chigiri was no longer the same. The Wanima brothers noticed his change and constantly provoked him, insinuating that he was afraid to run because of the risk of re-injury. But Chigiri's true fear wasn't getting hurt again. It was losing the identity he had built around his extraordinary speed. He had always believed he could be the best, but after his injury, he began searching for an excuse to give up. Now, with 5 minutes left in the match and Team Z on the verge of defeat, Chigiri views this situation as an opportunity to finally walk away from soccer forever. The match enters additional time with 3 extra minutes. Isagi, desperate to find a clear path to score, decides to attempt dribbling on his own, but loses the ball due to his lack of control. Chigiri watches him and wonders if Isagi is being reckless. However, seeing Isagi's relentless effort and passion, Chigiri recalls his own past, when he dreamed of being the best striker in the world and played with complete devotion. Inspired by Isagi's determination, Chigiri realizes that what truly matters isn't fear, but the excitement he feels when playing soccer. At that moment, Chigiri stops worrying about his injury or the potential consequences. He breaks free from the mental chains that have been holding him back, unleashing the full potential of his right leg. With newfound confidence, he declares that he will become the best striker in the world. At the same time, Isagi, sensing a potential goal, notices Chigiri sprinting along the opposite flank, close to the sideline. Without hesitation, Isagi sends the ball toward him, though it seems destined to go out of bounds. Before Kuan can clear it, Chigiri bursts forward with unstoppable speed and reaches the ball. At that moment, he remembers the joy he felt the very first time he played soccer, reaffirming that what he loves most is leaving his opponents behind. With a self-pass, Chigiri accelerates to his maximum speed, surpassing all his rivals. One of the Wanima brothers tries to stop him, but it's futile. Chigiri is too fast. Finally, he manages to strike the ball just in time, bypassing the goalkeeper and scoring the goal that ties the match at 4-4.